and I don't think anyone will beat us, but definitely everyone can. I think it's up to us to make it so they won't.
Alright, so today is Monday and G2 is coming off a very strong and dominating 2-0 win against Fnatic in the LEC Spring Split playoffs. How are you feeling after this win, Cavs?
Well, I'm definitely really excited. I think we improved a lot even from just yesterday. Some of the things that were going wrong there that made the game stall out a bit, and it made our games a lot cleaner today. Bit of a mistake from me in the early game died, but it ended up not being too impactful. So I'm just happy with how everyone played. I think my teammates played really well today, and I'm hoping we can keep the momentum up for next week.
And I mean, also it's very cool that we got to see your Aurelion Sol. I think for those who don't know, it's actually like one of the first champions you played like before the rework even, and you got a pentakill back in the EUCS, I believe. So were you happy to play that champion today?
Yeah, I mean, definitely feels good to play ASOL. I mean, obviously it's been reworked, right? So I don't know if I have the same like the same, I guess, connection or what you would say with him, because I think I really like the old one. I think the new one is pretty cool as well, though, and it was fun to pull it out. I haven't gotten to play it too much since the rework, and yeah, even though the early game was a bit tough, it was a lot of fun to just always like just fly at them. Maybe I flew a bit too close to the sun a few times, but it ended up working out.
You know, I mean, you're playing on the edge sometime, but it works out in the end. That aside, in game two as well, we saw you pulling out the Azir, the Emperor of Shurima again. It's coming back after being disabled. I have a question regarding this as well, because an interesting topic I've seen on social media recently is the idea that we could potentially, in an alternate universe, introduce something like disabling champions and like maybe rotating certain picks during certain metas. Do you think that's something that maybe could be positive for esports in general? Because sometimes there's some champions that are a bit too dominant, like Azir, for example.
I mean, I think it could be, maybe we could be something to try, but at the same time, I feel like for that to make sense, you would have to do it like globally. Like I feel like it had to be for every region, and it would have to be like before a split even starts. Because I think if you do it like very like if you do it like just suddenly, I think it becomes very random. If you like, oh, this week this champion's table, the next week this. But I could see like, let's say going into MSI, or like let's say going into summer split, you say like, okay, now we just globally disable these champions. I could see it making some sense. Um, yeah, I could see it making some sense. At the same time, I think if you really want to play something, it's also like nice to be able to play it. Um, so I don't know. I think it would be maybe a bit unfair as well. Like who gets to decide that? I could see. I could imagine, like, the thing is, you would have to have someone who's very unbiased or something like that, right? Because let's say we go to MSI and suddenly our like all our most played champs are just banned, or like let's say BLG, all that the champs they play most are just banned, or like if, especially if there's something specific that some people like to pull out, it can become a bit weird, and and I don't know how great that is, but I think if you can find a way to do it like globally and also have it. I mean, maybe it would be more for like a regular season thing, like not so much for Worlds MSI. I think that could be a way to do it, right? Because I think at Worlds MSI, different regions, different strengths. I think it's good to just see everyone like, just do what they like.
Interestingly, this split has been going pretty well for you guys. Definitely better than 2023 spring. We remember the disaster back then. I talked with your other teammates as well over the weeks, and they told me that they were like taking this split way more seriously compared to last year. But still, it must feel a bit weird because you're playing without any stakes except maybe the Leaguepedia result on your page or something. What has been your personal like way of looking at this split so far? What mentality have you taken so far?
I mean, I think there's still a lot of stakes for us. I think we have very high expectations of ourselves, and I think when we have like weeks like the last week where we just lost 2 games, I think we consider that very unacceptable, and I think a lot of us were very frustrated, and we really tried to, I think, push even further this week to fix all the things that were wrong. And that's obviously why we're so happy, right, with the results, because it always feels good when your efforts pay off, and especially when we lose, it's I mean, obviously it sucks because we get very frustrated and we get like we want to win, right? But when we lose, it also is an advantage in that it highlights like some of our flaws, whether it be draft or um, or like our early game or mid game or late game. Like there might be like some things that they can highlight. And I think we took some really good conclusions from last week's losses. And I think we we um, we we did well yesterday. We're still not that great, but I think overnight we definitely like we were doing better in scrims, and then I think we were hard time implementing some of the stuff yesterday. I think today was like way better. I think I mean I especially like I think give a huge shout out to Hans. I think he was doing really well in comps and make sure that we were we were playing similar to our scrims today, and despite like me dying in level 1, despite I think we had a bit of a throw in the second game as well at some point, we were still very clean in the game.
And I mean, obviously today was a statement match. It's also probably feels good because a lot of people have been expressing some skepticism regarding G2 and maybe other top teams in EU in general recently. Do you think that there's any teams that can still face you in EU, or are you like the clear number one? Do you have also any teams you're excited to face, even going into MSI?
So I think we have proven, and I have proven in my career and more than anyone, that definitely there's always someone who can beat us. I think in fact I think anyone can beat us. Uh, I think it's up to us to make it so they won't, and I don't think anyone will beat us, but definitely everyone can. If we don't show up, if they come up with some new stuff, and we just you know we don't do our due diligence and work hard these 2 next weeks. So I definitely not gonna take anything for granted. I think this split is still very important for us. We don't want to repeat last year's spring failure. So we're definitely gonna aim for the top. And for international competition, I mean, I think it's always a lot of fun to play against all the different LPL SK teams. I think maybe it's actually I will just say T1. I think always going up against Baker is just always fun, right? And I've had the fortune of doing it a few times, and I'm down to do it a few more times because it's a lot of fun, and especially with how they're looking, it's a tough opponent, but it's the tough opponents are where you can prove yourself. So I'm hoping we can go up against them.
Also, yesterday we saw that TL won the LCS, and I mean, I just want to say that last time you faced TL, you ended up winning MSI, right, in 2019. So maybe it's the year of G2. Who knows?
They just eliminate all the LPL teams. We take care of the LCK, and then we meet in the final.
You've probably heard, obviously, of the Esports World Cup and everything that's going on in Saudi Arabia. I don't want to talk directly about this tournament because obviously it's not your role to talk about that. But I want to quickly ask your opinion regarding a move that is maybe happening right now, maybe will happen in the future, towards more international tournament like this, maybe even playing more major tournaments like a CSGO, for example, or a Valorant for all that matters. Do you think that maybe moving away from a league-based system and having more international tournaments in the year like this could be positive for esports in general in League of Legends, and is it something that you would want personally?
I think I don't know if it will be positive for esports. Like I don't know if I have like the I guess an idea. Sometimes it can be hard for me to tell like what like if it will make it better or not, because obviously I think that comes down to how it's executed, but also I think the fans' opinions matter a lot there, right? I think. Mm, yeah, I think it would definitely be nice for us in a sense, right? I think if we got to compete more internationally, I think we would definitely have a better shot as well. I mean, there's more tournaments, but also we just get more experience with the LPL and LCK teams, and maybe there's a way there to catch up easier. But at the same time, I think like how I feel right now, I really want to win Worlds, and if the system somehow changed, I would kind of be a bit sad with that in a way because yeah, I really want to win Worlds, and sure, you can still have Worlds the same way to some extent, but with more tournaments and more things, it might feel like if I won, then it would feel like, oh, it was maybe because of other factors, and I really wanted to be like just through like I guess hard work and me improving upon myself, right? Because it's something I've been trying for many years. So I think my opinion would probably be I think it's a great idea, and I would love it. But I would like to win Worlds first because then I have like that that goal set in stone.
as we've seen, you are once again facing BDS in the playoffs again. I think it was the same last split. Do you have any thoughts regarding this match? Because obviously you're taking them on again, and you faced against them quite a few times before.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I think when we came up with them against them last split, they definitely looked stronger, like comparatively. I think they had a lot of shaky games, but we also had a lot of shaky games, and I think we had a really good plan against them last time. I am not sure exactly what our plan will be yet, right? But I think we'll figure that out. So I think if we put in a lot of work and figure out how to counter what they're doing, that will obviously give us an edge. So I think I will go back and review a lot of their games and see what we can do to counter them. But I definitely feel confident, and I think it's on us to win that game. As long as we stay hardworking, stay what is it called, like creative as well, because I think we had some good things that we were learning off of from our losses, as I mentioned. But now when we're winning, there's still mistakes we're doing, still things we can improve on, and it can be harder when you win, but still we are showing a lot of things that we can do better.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much for your time today, Caps. I hope that you have a great few days of break before your next match. And yeah,
Thank you.
hopefully we'll get to talk again to you soon, maybe at MSI even.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right.
See ya.
Well, have a great night. Thank you.
You too.